In 1998, I led an attempt on the south face of Annapurna 1. About 2 years after the expedition, Nawang was involved in a motorcycle accident in Kathmandu, and he lost his left leg below the knee. We brought Nawang to California, where Walter Rosette at UCSF gave him a prosthetic leg. We heard through our friend Jim Wickwire, the first American to climb K2, of a man named Ed Homer. Ed Homer was an American Airlines pilot. He was a bilateral amputee who nearly climbed Everest with Jim in 2001. We arranged a meeting between Ed Homer and Nawang in Kathmandu after the end of his expedition.
Yes.
They really hit it off and they became friends. Ed had started a nonprofit organization called the High Exposure Foundation, the purpose of which was to help people like Nawang. And Nawang became the first client of the High Exposure Foundation, and the two of them planned to climb Everest together. And tragically, Ed was killed shortly thereafter on a training climb with Jim Wickwire on Mount Rainier. This past spring, during all the celebrations, the Jubilee, the 50th anniversary of the first ascent of Mt Everest, I was having lunch with the chairman and CEO of A&B Property Corporation, where I work as a software developer. And this man's name is Hamid Moghadam. We were having a conversation over lunch when Hamid suddenly said, "Tom, have you ever considered climbing Mount Everest?" And then suddenly, to my surprise, he said, "I'll be your lead sponsor." And when I got this news, I immediately sent Nawang an email and said, "Nawang, how would you feel about climbing Mount Everest with me?" As Everest expeditions go, ours is a tiny expedition with a tiny budget. But still, it's a massive effort involving nearly 3 months of time. We're here at about 9,000 feet in Lukla, and we're on our way to Island Peak to climb Island Peak, a small trekking peak for acclimatization before we go on to Everest Base Camp.
I'm climbing Everest with my prosthetic leg, with my friend.
I'm Nawang Sherpa, and this is my friend Tom McMillan.
I'm Tom Eberlin. This is my friend Nawang Sherpa.
This is my walking leg, so I have another leg for the climbing. So my climbing leg is inside my backpack. I want to shape that for later.
De Blanc, Makalu in the morning sun. The great south face of Lhotse.
Cold.
Nimagampu.
did fast. 7
Yeah.
o'clock now. We did very quick. Summit.
So gorgeous.
Welcome to Everest. We started.
Good luck, birds. They will carry you to the summit.
It's about 5:15 a.m. and getting ready for our first trip up the Icefall. It's Nawang on the right, putting on his harness. You can see we got some little red flag on a bamboo pole to sort of mark the way. And Camp 1 is just at the top here. And this is the most dangerous part of the climb. We'll be praying the whole way. It's April 11th, Easter Sunday. And this is Nawang and Tom's first trip up the Icefall this year. And Nimagambu's showing us the way. How'd they get the rope up there?
Huh?
Hey Nawang,
Yeah.
tell me who put the rope here?
Icefall doctor.
Icefall doctor. Yeah, Icefall doctor.
If we look down in the crevasse, we see USA.
There's a certain technique to this. Mostly, you don't want to look down. You be sure you step on the rungs.
This is Nawang. Mà chốt chẳng lo gì. Mà chốt chẳng lo gì. Hello, Gojira Baskim Dodo.
These seracs, when they collapse, if there's anyone climbing through this section, it's pretty dangerous.
Come on.
We made it to Camp 1, and now we're going back to base camp. We were just making our first little acclimatization run, and Nawang's going down the 6-section vertical ladder. One of the highlights of the Icefall doctors' work this year. Icefall doctors are doing some work, doing some route improvement. This group of Sherpas maintains a safe route in the Icefall, so you don't have to rope up. You just clip into the fixed line. Tired day.
Tired day.
Well, Linda?
Very small.
Any blisters on the other foot?
No.
The 14th, on the 14th, T and G are resting. His wife just came and I told him, so now he's helping her. She came with the yaks. Matashi's wife. He's our Sirdar, head climbing Sherpa. Very famous man. And his wife. And some snow-covered yaks. It's snowing in base camp. Pam Dorji and I, we spent the night at Camp 1 last night, 6,100 meters. And now we're on our way to Camp 2, just to visit Camp 2, and then we're going back to base camp. We're in the western comb, and if you look, this is Everest right behind me, with the sun coming up over the shoulder. You can see Camp 2 just there, the yellow tents. Nawang and I are getting ready to go up and spend the night at Camp 1, and then we're going to move up and spend the night at Camp 2. Maybe a couple days after that, spend the night at Camp 3. So we're just at the base of the Icefall now, getting ready. We're back at the tent at Camp 1, which is 6,100 meters. Icefall doctor had to do a bunch of work. There was just a series of about 3 major collapses. We've got 8 Russian Poisk oxygen cylinders that are, I'm going to try to carry some of them up to Camp 2 tomorrow. There's the way to Camp 3 where Nima was today, just below Lhotse. And then there's our route, the Southeast Ridge, summit in the clouds. I can hardly breathe. And let me show you what our little Camp 2 looks like. We have 2 tents connected with a tarp. That's Nawang there. Nawang and I are really tired. Here's some little birds at Camp 2. It's April 23rd, and as you can see, the weather's pretty bad. So we're going down to base camp, and it's almost a whiteout condition, and the wind's in our face, so our faces are kind of cold. And basically getting the hell out of here while the getting's good. Nawang. Okay, so this is what it's like to arrive at camp. Notice everybody's moving really slow. It's April 27th, and arrived at Camp 2 yesterday, and a big snowstorm last night. Beautiful weather, but too much snow to climb because of avalanche danger. It's April 28th. We've had several days of really bad weather, and now we've got some really glorious weather. We were set to go to Camp 3 this morning, but I'm feeling that well this morning, so we decided to take a rest day, head up tomorrow. Going to Camp 3.
Careful. Simple here.
This is our Camp 3 tent. Tom is inside, cooking tea. Many groups camping place here.
April 30th, coming down from Camp 3. We wanted to climb above Camp 3, but as you see, it's really windy and cold this morning. And we had a pretty rough night. This would not be a good day for going to the sun. We're returning to base camp after completing our acclimatization. It's May 1st. We've spent one night at Camp 3 at 7,300 meters. I'm looking at Lola, which is a satellite peak of the true summit of Everest on its west ridge, and there's just this roar of the wind, jet stream just screaming over the top. But down here it's calm and not that cold. May 12th, and we're beginning our summit attempt. And right now we're in the Icefall on our way up to Camp 2. This whole upper section of the Icefall avalanched since the last time we were here. Probably cuts a half hour off the time. It's left kind of a nice path up. There's up. There's Nimatashi, Camp 1. Of course, we don't have a Camp 1 anymore, no tent anymore. We have to go at Camp 2 today. May 14th. We're starting our summit bid. And here's some sherpas from some other teams heading up the Lhotse face. Nawang moving up strongly. On our way to Camp 3. We're going to the summit. God willing. We're nearing 7,000 meters, so people are starting to slow down. 300 meters more to go vertically to the camp. We're having a good time. It's a really beautiful day. You can see clouds rolling off the summit. It's pretty windy up there. Probably no summiting today, but the weather forecast is good for the next few days. Here come some of our Korean brothers, and I see shattered remains of a tent at Camp 3. So we're just kind of getting into Camp 3 now. We're almost to Camp 3. You may be able to see some dots sort of moving across towards the rock buttress in the upper left. Those are people climbing up to Camp 4, up to the South Call. And I'll pan across towards the summit. You see big clouds. No summit today. High winds, probably 70, 80 miles an hour. We're about 7,300 meters now. I'm feeling great. It's a miracle. Looking at Camp 3 and down the western comb, and Pomori in the clouds. Here's Nawang. Got our down suits on, and we're climbing up to South Call, Camp 4. So if all goes well, tomorrow we'll be on the summit. Yellow band. Geneva Spur. Almost to the South Call. It's 0 hour. Fixing some hot drinks.
Yeah, now everybody's going okay. Nawang and Gambu arriving at the summit.
Nawang's in red, Gumbu's in orange, and they're arriving at the summit.